So, among the 11 states warned, some are coastal, some inland. For you, to what extent does this threat come from river overflow and lacked dam releases?
Wow, it's a serious matter. It's a serious
It
matter.
is. Mm.
We could have been preparing for this from quite a long time ago, from decades ago, because we'd been warned, and we'd seen instances of when dam releases were made from Cameroon and so on, and water would come rushing, and there was no way to contain the water. But more recently, we have been told categorically, without any trace of doubt whatsoever, that heavier rains are falling and are going to continue to be falling because of the global warming causing the climate change. So it is indeed a very, very worrisome matter. And we really hope and we pray that the citizens in those areas where the flood warnings have gone out, and there's been a lot of flood warnings, it's not just one location, all the way from Ogun State up country, where the flood warnings have gone out, we really have to pray for those people there, because nobody can tell exactly how bad the flood will be until the water comes in. So it is actually very, very worrying indeed. And it's also an indictment on previous regimes, previous federal governments especially, that why hasn't the necessary ameliorative measures been taken? Because this is something that we know is going to happen, and it has been happening.
But given this warning, Mr. Majekodunmi, the federal government has urged evacuations, but in practice, where have evacuations succeeded? Whether in minimizing death, displacement issues, and also, what kind of mechanism, communication channels, whether through community leaders, have worked best to ensure that our people heed evacuation warnings?
That's the challenge. You see, and also we should be able to learn from the fact that why haven't the people heeded those warnings? Sometimes it's just a matter of there's nowhere for them to go. There's nowhere for them to go. And then they'll be hoping and praying, well, maybe just the flood won't come, maybe we'll be okay, because provisions have not been made in a lot of areas, a lot of circumstances over the past few years. Adequate provisions have not been made. When you're going to evacuate people from their homes, families with their children and everything, you have to ensure that you have the internally displaced camps in place. Now, some of the states have done a good job. And from what we can see, Ogun State particularly seems to be getting itself very well prepared. But this is one of the major factors that the people don't evacuate because they're so worried, where shall we go? Maybe the flood won't come. When you show them that, okay, we have a camp for you, and we can set these things up. Our military forces are very good at setting up camps. That's one of the things they train to do. We can set these things up. The funds will be allocated, and it should be done. In fact, not that it should be done, it must be done as a sign of the true empathetic leadership that we are supposed to have. And as I said, we're seeing it in Ogun State at least.
But really, Mr. Majekodunmi, what defines a good anticipatory action plan, whether at the state level, local government level, federal government level? And with what we have on our hands, how many of these 11 states are you confident have such plans already? I mean, for instance, giving credit to some of them, Adamawa State reportedly released funds for emergency response, raised awareness, some proportionate prepositioned materials. But how replicable is that in other states? Do you think state governments do enough in, what I would call complementary roles or complementing the roles of federal government in mitigating the impact of flood?
Complementing the roles of federal government. It's essential, and they're not doing enough at all. And this is very, very worrisome. That's how is it that at this stage of our development as the great country, Nigeria, that we are, that we're allowing this to happen, that the states who are closer to the people, the states who now should be working closer with the local government agencies and so on, are very close to the people, are doing so little. How is this? This is highly, highly questionable. And it is something that we need to really, really look into. But also the authorities that are responsible for doing the right thing, the leadership in those authorities, they themselves need to caution themselves very, very, very carefully, because there are fundamental laws that govern humanity, that govern life. And these are the laws of action begetting reaction. You will always have consequences. And as a leader, the responsibility on your shoulders is a very massive responsibility. Some of us, if we have a small organization, we make a decision, we're going to affect the lives of maybe 20 people or 50 people. As a major leader in those states, you make decisions and you can affect the lives of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. And this must come back to you, either in a good way, because you've made a good decision and you've ensured that that decision was practicalized in the right way, or if you don't do it the right way, then it must come back to you. This is not me talking. I'm just referring to major scriptures. Yes, law of retribution, the kifara. It is major, major retributive justice. So yeah, it's a wake-up call. We can't allow this to continue.